Alright, so we have BlackWarGreymon versus ShineGreymon. I'm going to go ahead and hatch into a Koromon, Digivolve into an Agumon, then I'm going to Digivolve into a Greymon, passing it over to my opponent. He's going to go ahead and draw for turn, hatch a Koromon, and he's bricking a little bit, so he's going to go ahead and play a GeoGreymon from a hand, passing the memory over to 3. I'm going to draw for turn, Digivolve into Greymon X Antibody, and then Digivolve into a Metal Greymon X Antibody. He's then going to draw for turn and Digivolve into Agumon. Then Digivolve into GeoGreymon, passing it back over to me. I'm going to draw for turn. I'm going to bring the Metal Greymon X Antibody out from raising, and then Digivolve it into the BlackWarGreymon, which is going to delete the GeoGreymon and play, passing it over to my opponent. He's going to draw, and then play Sunrise Buster, which is going to allow him to play a Marcus Daemon from a hand, which is going to pass the memory back over to me. I'm going to draw for turn, hatch a Koromon, Digivolve into an Agumon. I'm then going to Digivolve my BlackWarGreymon into a Gaiomon for a memory cost of 2. I'm then going to swing with 3 security checks at 16,000 DP, swing over 3 ShineGreymons. I'm then going to Digivolve my Agumon into a Greymon, pass it over to my opponent. He's going to bring the GeoGreymon out of raising, and then making the Marcus into a Digimon. He's then going to swing with the Marcus Daemon, which is going to allow him to Digivolve into ShineGreymon for free, and then since he has a Tamer in play, he gains a memory, and then my Gaiomon gets a bunch of DP reduction. So the security checked is an Agumon, so the Marcus stays in play. He's then going to Digivolve into a ShineGreymon, passing the memory over to me. I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring the Greymon out of raising. There really isn't much else I can do, so I'm going to go ahead and swing for the rest of his security, hopefully not hitting any option cards, and everything survives. I'm going to go ahead and swing with the Greymon to finish out the game. Alright, now starting with game 2, my opponent is going to hatch into a Koromon, Digivolve into an Agumon, and then go ahead and hard play a Agumon for a cost of 3, which is going to search the top 4 cards of his deck. And he's going to go ahead and add the ShineGreymon Burst Mode to his hand. I'm going to go ahead and hatch a Koromon, and then Digivolve into Agumon X Antibody. Then I'm then going to Digivolve into the Greymon X Antibody, setting me to 1 memory. I'm going to Digivolve into the Metal Greymon, putting him to 3 memory. He's going to go ahead and draw for turn. He's then going to swing with the Agumon, and he checks a Greymon, which pops him. He's then going to play the Shining Blast option card just to set me to 2 memory instead of just passing the turn. I'm going to go ahead and bring the Metal Greymon out of raising, and then I'm going to Digivolve into the Gaiomon, trashing the top card of his security. And then since I don't have a Tamer in play, I'm not going to go into the other Gaiomon just yet. So he's going to go ahead and draw for turn. And he's going to keep his Agumon in raising and just pass since he really doesn't have much. I'm going to go ahead and play the Yuya from hand, which is then going to allow me to Digivolve the Gaiomon into the other Gaiomon. I then suspend the Yuya to give my Gaiomon plus 2k, and it cannot be affected by my opponent's option cards. So then the Gaiomon is going to go ahead and swing for 2 checks. And so the first check is going to be a Marcus, which on play is going to suspend himself. And when he's suspended, he's going to give my Gaiomon minus 3k and gain a memory. And he checks another Marcus, which is going to give my Gaiomon another minus 3k and gain another memory from there. And my opponent is now going to draw for turn and bring the Agumon out of raising. He's then going to use the Agumon's effect to make one of his Marcus Daemons a Digimon with 3k DP. He's then going to Digivolve into the GeoGreymon. This is going to allow him to search through his security to either play a red or yellow Tamer card for free and then recover 1. He doesn't find a Tamer. He's going to swing with a Marcus, which is going to give my Gaiomon minus 3k DP and gain him a memory. He checks a Metal Greymon in security, which is going to delete Marcus. He's then going to Digivolve into ShineGreymon, And since he has a Digimon Tamer on the field, he's going to go ahead and gain a memory. and then he's going to digivolve into ShineGreymon. He's then going to use the effect to make one of his Marcuses a Digimon, which has blocker. So then I'm going to draw for turn, hatch a Koromon. I'm then going to digivolve a Agumon, and then digivolve a Agumon X Antibody. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Hades Force, which is going to delete his ShineGreymon. Then the second part of Hades Force is going to allow one of my Digimon, the Greymon, in its name to swing, which is going to swing for the rest of his security. I'm then going to reboot, and it is on to my opponent's turn. He's going to go ahead and hatch a Koromon. He's then going to digivolve into Agumon. And then, just to dig through his deck a little more, he's going to go ahead and digivolve into a GeoGreymon. With that draw, he's not going to be able to find any pieces to stop the final two swings, so he's going to concede the second game. And on to game 3, my opponent is going to hatch a Koromon. He's then going to play Agumon, which is going to search the top 4 for a card with Greymon and add a card with Marcus in its name. So he's going to add a Marcus and the ShineGreymon to hand, which is then going to pass me over to 3 memory. I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn, hatch my Koromon, and I'm bricking, so I'm going to go ahead and play a Greymon, setting him to 2 memory. He's then going to digivolve the Agumon into a GeoGreymon, and digivolving into Agumon. He's going to play a Marcus from hand, putting me to 5 memory. His Marcus is going to suspend, giving himself back 1 memory, and minusing my Greymon by 3k, and then the Agumon in the Digivolution source is going to give my Greymon -2, which is going to delete it. I'm then going to hard play a Metal Greymon X Antibody, which is going to pass it back over to him. He's going to bring the Agumon out from raising, and since he has a Tamer in play, both the Agumon and GeoGreymon give him an additional memory. He's then going to digivolve into the Rise Greymon. Since he has that Tamer in play, he's going to go ahead and gain a memory. He's then going to digivolve into the ShineGreymon, and then using the Burst Digivolution, he's going to go ahead and put the Marcus back in his hand, and go ahead and play a Marcus from his hand for free. He's then going to go ahead and swing with the Marcus, which is going to give my Metal Greymon -3k DP. His other inheritables are going to allow him to draw, and also give my Metal Greymon additional -DP. Then ShineGreymon's Burst Mode ability, when a Tamer is suspended, he go ahead and trashes the top card of security. Then he checks the Hades Force, which is going to delete his ShineGreymon Burst Mode. This will hopefully slow him down enough to allow me to swing back, but unfortunately he go ahead and plays the Sunrise Buster, which allows him to play another Marcus, and ultimately brings my Metal Greymon's DP to 0. So I'm going to go ahead and draw for turn, and digivolve into the Agumon. I'm then going to draw, and then digivolve into the Greymon, and then go ahead and just pass the turn since I've just been breaking really badly. My opponent's going to then hatch a Koromon. He's then going to, using the ability of the Agumon, make one of his Marcus a Digimon. Then digivolving into a GeoGreymon, allowing him to search through his security and play a red or yellow Tamer. And he plays a Marcus for free. And on play, he's going to suspend the Marcus, gain a memory. He then shuffles his security and recovers 1. Now, since his Marcus is a Digimon, he's going to go ahead and use it to swing. This is going to allow his GeoGreymon to digivolve into a Rise Greymon for free. So he's going to digivolve into the Rise Greymon. The Rise Greymon is then going to allow him to play a Marcus for free, which is going to gain him another memory. The security checked is a Greymon, so the Marcus dies and goes to the top of his security stack. He's then digivolving into Agumon, and then digivolving into a Rise Greymon X Antibody, and finally digivolving into a ShineGreymon, which is going to allow one of his Marcuses to become a 3k DP Digimon with blocker. I'm now going to draw and digivolve into a Metal Greymon, putting my opponent back to 3 memory. He's going to suspend everything, bring his Agumon out of raising, and digivolve the Agumon into a GeoGreymon. And this is looking worse and worse by the second. He goes ahead and swings with the Marcus, which is going to gain him a memory and allow him to draw an additional card. Checks a Greymon, which pops the Marcus, but unfortunately sends him to the top of his security. So he is now at 7 security cards. He goes and digivolves his GeoGreymon into a RiseGreymon, and he gets to play another Marcus, gaining him another memory and drawing. He then digivolves into a second ShineGreymon, allowing him to make one of his Marcuses a Digimon with 3k DP and blocker. So at this point, there really isn't much I can do, so I bring the Metal Greymon out, digivolve it into Gaimon, just to get a single swing out. So put him to 2 memory, he's going to get set to 3 regardless from the Marcuses, and I decide to digivolve one of his ShineGreymon and swing with the Gaimon, swinging for 2 checks. And it's going to be 2 Marcuses, since he was able to put them at the top of his security when they got deleted. So the first check is, surprise surprise, Marcus. Any second is also Marcus. So he gains all that additional memory, and my Gaimon gets deleted from all the negative DP. At this point, I have a completely empty field, a single security, and nothing stopping my opponent from just finishing out the game. Using ShineGreymon's effect, he's going to go ahead and make one of the Marcuses a 3k DP Digimon with blocker, and he's going to go ahead and digivolve into another ShineGreymon. He's going to then swing with the Marcus and checks a BlackWarGreymon and finishes the game with a ShineGreymon.